Okay, Jago, you are what I would call, and I don't think anybody would argue with this, super, super fit. Like, as fit as possible. Sorry. You're a great role model for the rest of us. So I would like to know if you would mind sharing with us, like, a little bit about your personal background, like in athletics. You know, you're obviously an athlete. Maybe you can talk a little bit about you personally.
Well, sure. Thank you. Thank you for that.
You bet.
I was never, I wouldn't say active or an athlete, gosh, probably until my early 30s. Mm-hmm. Born and raised on a farm, always a hard worker, a lot of solitude, get out there and get her done on your own, you know, march back across the field and up to the house when you're finished, that type of thing. So I definitely had, as far as mental toughness, I think that training came pretty early on. Mm-hmm. And was reinforced decade after decade after decade. Mm-hmm. I was always active, and genetically, you know, I'm blessed. I come from a long, lanky mm-hmm. family with, you know, good health. I would say, gosh, after college, kind of just messed around, you know, rode a bike here and there, tried jogging, not so much fun, but I still lived in Kentucky where I can't really say there is it felt like a huge athletic community. Mm-hmm. So, moved out west, sight unseen, landed in Boulder, Colorado, of all places. There's a little bit of athleticism
just a little outdoors.
Yeah, just a little. So, learned how to mountain bike, learned how to rock climb, learned how to go backpacking, learned how to run on dirt and mm-hmm. rocks and read maps and, you know, discover vegetarianism mm-hmm. and then discovered how to abandon being a vegetarian. Yeah. So that was the first taste of healthy competition. Again, trying to relinquish insecurities, build self-confidence, mm-hmm. figure out how to fuel, how to sleep, how to find the whole balance with working full time and picking out what sports. So at that point it was really diluted. Mm-hmm. You know, try everything, experiment, be half-assed at it all, but still have a great time.
Right.
And then moved to Fort Collins after that and started pursuing mountain biking with more focus. There was a women's team there that was focused on just getting women into mountain biking, and then through that club, then you'd start, you know, racing the Norba circuit and what have you. So that was my first taste of supportive competition.
So you became a competitive mountain biker, would you say?
I raced mountain bikes.
Okay.
I was not competitive. I was definitely the sweep crew. But again, it showed me, okay, I love the training aspect of it. I love the you know, the multiple rides during the week, the time in the saddle, right. The way it makes my body feel, the way it clears out my mind. And then realized, these events are all short, fast and furious. What about long bike rides?
Right.
So the Century started, getting my attention. And then I had friends, you know, that did Leadville. And they're like, oh, you should think about Leadville. And 24 hours of Moab. And this and this and that. So it came down to the point of once I tried my first endurance event where I wasn't, you know, hearing, on your left, on your left, on your right, on your right, on your left, on your left, you know, for an hour and 15 minutes where you're just like, get out the trail, it stinks. Where, you know, you're riding an endurance race and people are like, hey, where are you from? How's your race going? Is your first time here? You know, and it's just a totally different mindset. But the goal was self-gratification, you know, mm-hmm. It was me against myself and then rewarded with the time, you know, against the clock. So that turned the corner with, you know, the fast twitch life versus the slow mm-hmm. twitch life, and realized that I like the slow twitch stuff. It is good because I can disappear for hours. Yeah. And then started rock climbing in Fort Collins, and that's actually how we ended up in Lander, because we would come up to Wild Iris a couple times a summer and stay for a few weeks at a time and climb. And again, very, you know, it's very body oriented. You can't mm-hmm. weigh 300 pounds and be full of fat and haul yourself up the side of a cliff. Right. So it kept us both very lithe and mm-hmm. tuned in on a little bit more on nutrition and strengthening and what have you. So those were the two things that kept me rolling as far as athleticism. Mountain biking definitely being the main thing.
Right.
Love mountain bikers. And did a couple of really fun races, and then lived out of a van and traveled around the West and mountain biked for a year.
Wow.
Exclusively, and that brought us to Lander to stay.
Landed here?
Yes.
When was that?
99.
Yeah, so what sports are you doing now?
Yeah, so now I'm not rock climbing. After childbirth, the mental game wasn't there for climbing.
So you have a daughter?
I have a daughter.
Asha?
I have a 6-year-old
okay.
daughter. Yes. Who is full of enough energy for, a group of 6.
Yeah, I bet.
Yes, who is, already ripping it up on the mountain bike. Her
That's
dad
awesome.
Just got her one with gears, so she's all psyched about that. And she's a go-getter, good little climber. But then I started dabbling in trail running. I used to run in Boulder and then had just horrific knee issues and had to go down the stairs on my bottom because my knees hurt so bad. And it was terrible. So let that go. And then about a year and a half ago started entertaining the idea, well, I love to mountain bike on these trails. Maybe I'll try running again. I'm going to try running again. Maybe my legs are strong enough for mountain biking.
Yeah.
Now my knees will stay stable and I can run again. So began gently pursuing that. Literally run a minute, walk a minute, run a minute, walk a minute. That got to 5 minutes. Then it became 10 minutes, 11, 12. I mean, that tedious of a process.
Right.
Thanks to Steve's encouragement.
Right.
And did a ton of strengthening. Did another pretty long mountain bike race, like a 75-mile race, and just kept pursuing the running, and then crewed for Matt.
Right.
In Leadville, and I had done Leadville on a mountain bike years ago, but then to come back and be amidst all that.
When was that? Was that August of 2009 that we're talking about Matt Sisman?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So that fueled the fire, and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to try.
I bet it did.
Try. So spent all this winter training, and then I just did my first 30K weekend before last, and it worked.
Give me 5.
And
you did better than worked. Sorry for
it
the record,
worked.
you rocked it.
I only lost 2 toenails, and
you did awesome. Good job.
But it went really well, and I was super thrilled. So that was just like with my athletes. That was one of those things I just wanted to. I could call somebody and say, I did it.
Yeah, who's your Jagoe, right?
Yeah. Unfortunately, they were all there.
Yeah.
Steve and Ellen,
your team,
and
yeah.
Matt and Emily, everybody that trains
great job.
together. So that's a long-winded version of my short term of athleticism. And now I think it's raised the bar to a healthy spot where I have my climbing, my mountain biking, my running. And right now I'd say primarily just cycling and running are my 2 primary interests. I may climb again, I don't know.
Right.
It's ridiculous not to in this area. But to have those 2 pursuits that equally balance mental strength and physical strength, to me is the end-all be-all. I know regardless of what my day, week, month, year has been like, as soon as I'm 20, 25 minutes into a run or a ride, that there's the therapy. Right
so you get a lot of solitude and mental clearing out of it, would you say? Or
and that to me is key.
In addition to all the physical benefits,
and
right?
Then it feels, then you feel great through and through.
Great.